28th. We call this meeting to order. Reading of the appeal statement, Attorney Clark.
Thank you, Chair. The appeal of decisions from the Community Review Board. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County Community Review Board may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a quorum?
We do.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Brown. Approve of the minutes. Do I have a second? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. We're going to try to make this brief as possible today. We got a lot of things on the agenda. I'd like to thank all the board members attending here today. This is more or less a stressful situation going on in Davidson County, and hopefully that we can abide by the new law. If you have not read the law, please refresh your memory on the law. It's not new. It's that the state legislature got us operating by. We got rules and regulations that we must abide by, and hopefully refresh your memory. If not, we will hope by the next meeting we'll hopefully get some hard copies of the new laws. I want everybody to be able to go according to the law. We don't have anything that Metro PD can use against us. Thank you. We want to work hand in hand with Metro today, throughout this year anyway. Hopefully that we can move speedily on some of these cases that's coming up. Do the best that we can. Okay, next thing on the agenda, do we have any public comments? Okay, no public comment. Assistant Director, Dr. Kim.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Awesome. Good afternoon. On behalf of Director Fitchard, I will be reading her director's report in her absence. So the executive committee meeting was held on April 16th, and that meeting date, initially the date was to be determined for the next board meeting in May because it falls on Memorial Day. And so the update is we will hold the next board meeting on Wednesday, May 28th at our usual time at 5 p.m. Wednesday, May 28th. In this room, yes, sir. Also, the 62nd Annual State of Metro Address will be held on Thursday, May 1st at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Downtown Library in the Grand Reading Room. The seating is limited and the doors will open at 8:30 a.m. Also, regarding our complaints, the NCRB received 4 complaints since its last board meeting in March, and additionally a total of 1 officer commendation and 65 complaint contact calls for service. These numbers included our social worker contacts that were received. So a total of 4 complaints and 1 commendation since the last meeting. Also, all cases presented to the board were sent to Chief Drake for review, and a spreadsheet with all case controls such as dates, responses, records, requests, and body-worn camera extension notifications will be sent directly to the chief for ease of sharing case-related information. Also, the NCRB investigators submitted requests for police records and reported still having some delays in receiving body-worn camera footage from MNPD. Also, Director Fitchard and Chief Drake have a meeting coming up. I think that's been something that has been, in the waiting period, but they are going to be meeting. Chief Drake and Executive Director Fitchard have a meeting scheduled on May 8th, and that will be held at the MNPD headquarters. And a meeting with Metro Legal has been requested to discuss MOU expectations and record sharing the date is forthcoming. And I don't know if Attorney Brazil has anything else to offer there.
Not in that regard, no.
Okay. Also, we wanted to let you know that a DE agent shot and killed a 36-year-old man on April 16th in Midtown Nashville. And the agents were working in tandem with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation on a drug investigation when the shooting happened. It was reported that the descendant died at the hospital, and MNPD cold case investigators will conduct the investigation into the deadly incident. His family has filed a formal complaint with NCRB, and we have forwarded that referral over to OPA. And that was referred, I believe, on the April 17th of 2025. And also, we are having a festival, so looking for everyone to come out and participate. NCRB Community Uni Festival is Saturday, May 17th, so mark your calendars. It is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and it will be held at Coleman Park Community Center, and that's at 384 Thompson Lane. And also, we are excited to collaborate with multiple community organizations with 13 groups confirmed to participate in that event. So we thank our community engagement person, Ms. Tamika Cash, for that. She's worked hard with that. The festival is completely free and open to the public, featuring a variety of activities and attractions. And we would love for all of the board members to attend if you can. So again, if you'll mark your calendars for Saturday, May 17th, and again, it's from 11 to 3 p.m. Also save the date for the NCRB 2025 Town Hall event, which will be held on July 25th and 26th at the Nashville Downtown Library. If you would like to volunteer for the planning, please let us know, and more information will come soon with that. And last but not least, did want to mention that Commander Laurel, his last day with us is today. And if he doesn't mind coming up and introducing his replacement, we would be glad to meet her on this evening.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good weekend. It was after 5 years. I think I've been here about 5 years now. I've been through several different boards and board members, and some that are still here, and have had some great relationships I've made here. I will be stepping down as the liaison for the CRB. For the last several months, I've been filling in at North Precinct for, since our Commander McLean had passed away. And so we've got a new commander out there now, Stephen Bowers. And so I'll be transitioning, getting ready for the new precinct over in Southeast. And so with me stepping down, we have Captain Kelly Cantrell, a 14-year veteran out here, who will be taking over my liaison duties. She is phenomenal. She will have no problem stepping into my small shoes and handling business. And so appreciate her taking on this responsibility. I know she's got a lot going on, but she's going to do a phenomenal job. So I just want to let you know this is Kelly, and if you have any questions or...
Good evening. Nice to meet all of you.
Thank you. Well, we definitely want to say welcome.
Thank you.
Captain, you said Captain
Yes,
Cantrell?
that's
Captain
correct,
Cantrell,
yes.
we want to welcome you, but to you, Commander Laurel, we also want to say thank you. We have a small token from us. We definitely thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your contribution since you've been here with us, and we greatly appreciate it. So thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to work with y'all, and I know that everything continue to go well with our relationship with y'all and the MNPD. And like I said, Captain Cantrell is going to do a phenomenal job filling in for me. And I'm still around, so if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. So.
Awesome. Thank you. And that concludes my report, or the director's
And
report.
thank y'all. I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the work that you've done for us. I know I'm not easy to get along with, but we all work together, and together we stand, divided we'll fall. Thank you. Brother Cersei.
I understand you're going to be the new commander of the new Southeast Division.
Yes, sir. I'll be the commander at the Southeast Precinct over in Antioch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, but
Congratulations on that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're excited to get that building built and get to work started out there. So we'll see. Hopefully in the September, October of this year. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Do we have any remarks, any comments for the executive director's report? Any questions? Okay, well, then if we don't have any questions, then we'll move to the next item on the agenda. The board discussions in CRB case review, administrative closure. You have the case, I guess the first case would be 025.
I do. The first case I will be presenting is CC 2023-025, Kenneth Stevens. Mr. Stevens, a Nashville resident, submitted a concern regarding ongoing speeding and stop sign violations in his neighborhood. As a disabled person who walks a service dog, he emphasized how dangerous this situation is. However, the concern did not involve a specific officer or MMPD staff. Instead, Mr. Stevens was referred to his local precinct to request increased patrol presence. Since no officer misconduct was alleged, the case was closed administratively. Does anyone have any questions regarding that report? The compliance monitors are available.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Anybody in the negative? You not voting? You abstain? Yes. Okay, well, we have one abstain, and this report has been approved.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. Go ahead.
The next case is CC 2023-032, Erica White. Ms. White was stopped for speeding and discovered her driver's license was suspended. She alleged the officer was discourteous and unnecessarily towed her vehicle, creating hardship. However, a body camera footage showed the officer allowed her time to contact her family and even offered his phone. After failed contact, several attempts per the policy, the vehicle was towed. The Office of Professional Accountability found no violations, and with no further contact from the complainant and the pending court case, the matter was administratively closed. That concludes that report.
Okay, Boardman Brown?
Yeah, there's a typo in paragraph 1 next to the last line. Having another setback by having to pay two, TO should be TWO.
Thank you.
I believe that was already correct, has been correct before the meeting.
I believe so.
Your printout doesn't show that, but it was correct before the meeting.
Thank you. It's noted. Thank you, sir.
I thought it was a test to check if we read it.
It was. You passed.
Board Member Cersei?
Move approval.
Move to approve. Is that a second? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, this has been approved. Thank you. Go to the next one.
The next case is CC 2024-007, Gilbert Smith. Mr. Smith, a security guard in Bordeaux, complained that an officer was rude when he requested a specific officer to respond to a repeated trespassing incident. He did not have the officers' names or the date of the incident. After several unsuccessful follow-ups, Mr. Smith informed OPA he no longer wished to proceed. As such, the case was closed as a matter of record and administratively closed by the board. That concludes the report.
Any question on? Second? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, that one been approved, and let's go to the next one.
The next case is CC 2024-044, Larry Kuchenmeister. Mr. Kuchenmeister alleged misconduct by Officer Bedford and a counselor, claiming that they misled him into involuntary hospitalization and were involved in government surveillance. He also identified himself as a U.S. diplomat. Because the complainant did not involve officer misconduct within NCRB's jurisdiction, he was referred to the district attorney's office and the case was administratively closed. That concludes this report.
Move approval.
The next case is CC 2024-047, Jeff Riley. Mr. Riley filed a complaint after he was twice unable to file a report through MNPD's non-emergency line. He claimed that one officer refused to take his report and a second never followed up. After speaking with the compliance monitor, Mr. Riley agreed that no policy violation occurred and that his concerns didn't rise to the level of misconduct. The complaint was therefore closed administratively, and this concludes the report. The next case is CC 2024-059. Also, please, for the record, this case was initially submitted, I believe, to the board minutes as case number 050. However, it has been updated. The correct number is CC 2024-059, for the record, sir. And this was an anonymous complaint with the mobile crisis team. A mobile crisis response team employee reported that an MNPD sergeant refused to assist in transporting a man experiencing a mental health emergency, contrary to past practice under the Partners in Care program. However, before any investigation could proceed, the complainant withdrew the complaint after speaking with the sergeant's supervisor. The case was administratively closed at the complainant's request. That concludes the report. The next case is CC 2024-052, Daryl Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge received a parking ticket for being parked on the wrong side of the street outside his home. He initially felt the citation was unfair, but later acknowledged it may have been valid. He asked to withdraw the complaint, and with no policy violations identified, the case was closed administratively. This concludes the report. And this is the last case that I will be presenting. This is CC 2024-060. Anna, I'm not sure of the spelling of this last pronunciation. Denistrin? But her first name is Anna. And she received a parking ticket in front of her home in what was marked as a tow-away zone. She stated no such signage existed and believed that the citation was unjust. However, the matter was not found to involve any policy violation or officer misconduct. With no evidence of wrongdoing, the case was closed administratively. And that concludes the reports. of the
Motion
administrative
approved.
closures.
So moved.
Okay, Brother Boardman Brown. Okay, Board Member Cersei. All in favor say aye. Anybody disapprove? Okay, it passes. Apparently some.
Thank you, Chair. Frank Brazil, on behalf of the CRB. I think the only update that's pertinent is to remind the board, and I can read the transmission email from Executive Director Fitchard about this topic. Member Michelle proposed at our executive committee a very bright idea that we request the billing from Attorney Edward Stanton's team, and I'll just read for the record what was transmitted in one moment. That's correct. In a letter dated Thursday, April 17th, an email rather, Executive Director Fitchard writes, "Good morning, Director Dietz. The CRB Executive Committee asked that I make the following request for information. They wanted detailed billing and payment information for investigative services rendered by Attorney Edward Stanton and Attorney Keenan Carter of Butler Snow LLP during the period of May 31, 2024 to present, specifically an itemized breakdown including an hourly accounting of the work performed. This should include, but not be limited to, the following: dates of service, description of work by party, description of service provided, time spent in hours and minutes, hourly rate, total payments, and dates of payments. If you have any questions or want to discuss in further detail, please feel free to contact me directly."
Okay.
So the board awaits that, and to date, we've not received a response.
Okay. Appreciate her sending the email out to them. At least the public know that we are on top of things, that we're trying to get information on. Board Member Cersei, go ahead.
Mr. Chair and board members, I'd like for us to submit a FOIA request for the warrant, the TBI warrant, and authorize CEO Fitchard to do such post haste.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to ask you a question, Ms. Brazil. What was the purpose of the board asking for the pay scale from this law firm on this investigation? Could you fill in the blanks for me?
Well, after repeated attempts by the board and no response, even a status update of the investigation, I think that this was seen as a way to explore not the substance of the investigation, but to ensure that it's in progress, that it's being repeatedly worked on, and to give the public some type of guidepost about when it could be expected to be concluded. And correct me if I'm wrong, Member Michelle, this was kind of seen as something that was A, publicly available and discoverable by the board, and B, would be more than nothing. So that's my understanding of why we made that request.
Board Member Heather.
Yeah, I would just add, there was lots of conversation and frustration around no status update, and not necessarily, this board isn't necessarily but we don't have access to that information. There's no necessary grounds for us to have any information on the investigation, but we were speaking a lot to the taxpayers who are funding this investigation. If this firm has been around and been doing this for a year with no update to the public should deserve to know how much we're paying. Is work being done? So it was an attempt to gather some information to see, yes, if there was an ongoing investigation that the public is footing the bill for.
And I had one follow-up question. Do we know why the TBI served a search warrant on the offices of the law firm that's investigating Metro Police?
Don't believe we do.
Thank you.
Board Member Heather.
Chair, do we need a motion for Board Member Cersei's request about the FOIA? Or a second? I don't know if you motioned it.
I did not make a motion, but I have no problems in making it. If the chair will entertain it, I'll make it.
First of all, let's say this, one of the main reasons that the board member requested this information is because, like I said, we hadn't received anything and didn't know where they were on the investigation. So in case the public requests information on that, we could give them some information on these different categories, what procedure they was taking and how much time they was spending on it and what kind of money being involved in it. Hopefully they will set a spark on to get something done, and at the same time to let them know that we're on top of it, but we want to make sure that we are requesting them to do their job and give us some information on what's going on. Okay, you say you want a motion on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, board members, I move that we authorize Ms. Fitcher to seek a FOIA petition for the warrant served by TBI on the Butler Snow Law Firm.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, the motion passes. All right, the NCRB 26 budget. Come forward.
Good evening, board members. My name is Katora Barnett, and I serve as the Administrative Services Manager for the NCRB. I'm here to give you an update in regards to our budget request for fiscal year 26. Director Fitcher and I lastly met with individuals from the mayor's office and finance department on March 6th in regards to what our department is requesting for this upcoming budget. We gave a brief presentation and we also provided them our information in regards to the one pager that you have in your packets that you were sent. What I wanted to note tonight for the meeting was the priority request that we have put in our budget, which is FTEs. And the priority FTEs that we have highlighted is the 1 executive assistant and the 3 compliance monitors. So in your packet, you have the one pager that talks about all of those requests, but we wanted to highlight those FTEs and give you guys opportunity as board members to also share that information along, either to Metro Council or whoever in regards to why it's vital for our department. Both of those FTEs we want to know are vital to department operations for different reasons, but both similar in need for our department. For next steps, I wanted to note that all departments have been requested to fill out a questionnaire from the Metro's Budget and Finance Committee. That is due next Thursday, I believe May 8th. And so we are working on that to provide that to the Metro Budget and Finance Committee. And then after that, Metro Budget and Finance Committee will begin their budget hearings on Monday, May 12th. So that concludes my update. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yes, transportation, vehicle. How do we stand on that, the request? How do we have it in the report? I noticed that, a lot of gas mileage that we, traveling all over Davidson County can be expensive, a lot of wear and tear on our vehicles. And so something must be done. If we got people that can cruise the neighborhood in metro vehicles, so can we.
Right, correct. And when that request was made, we appreciated that request, and we did move forward with making that request for our next fiscal year budget. However, that request for a vehicle doesn't necessarily go into our budget, the NCRB budget. So that request goes to fleet, Metro's fleet department. So we did provide that information that our department would like to request an SUV to assist community engagement department when we do have events. We provided them the information on what type of vehicle we would most likely need for those needs. So we are waiting to hear back. So with Metro Fleet, with General Services, where the fleet department is under, they take that request and put it into their 4% budget. So we have not heard back if that has been approved. But for purposes of the NCRB budget, what we did to highlight that request was we had to make sure that we were able to have sufficient funds to house the vehicle. So if you look at contractual expenses, and that's the very last thing that's on that one pager, maintaining our building fund and parking, we have included parking for that vehicle. As you may know, the NCRB are in our new location. We pay for parking at a parking garage near the LNC Tower. So we have included that for the SUV that we have requested from Fleet.
Thank you. I just think it's no more fair for this Nashville Community Review Board that does have adequate transportation to be able to serve the citizens of Davidson County. You know, to take some of the stress off of them from the wear and tear on their vehicles and stuff like that, you know, and that's one of my major concerns. If we can pay gas for people to go out of town, live out of state, pay taxes on that, and we can't ride around in the city to do a service, then I think it's unfair.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
so if you don't ask, you won't get it.
Yes, sir.
That's how Metro works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have any new business? Board Member Heather.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a follow-up question to Attorney Brazil. From our executive committee meeting, we discussed a draft MOU between the DA's office, MMPD for Rule 16 access, and I was just wondering if there was an update on that.
Yes, thank you, Member Michelle. There is an update on that. That has a draft ready for red line has been transmitted to General Funk. It was sent last week, and when I went to check, because normally General Funk's very responsive, I discovered your attorney made a typo in the JIS Nashville portion of the email. So I resent that to him, and he has it, and I anticipate we'll be hearing something. My apologies for the mistake. But I, again, want to reiterate that my conversation with General Funk led me to believe there won't be any issues from the DA's office. If there are any issues at all from MNPD, since of course we had this for many years, they would lie in some concern about whether or not this would run afoul of an old member access agreement. So that should be smooth sailing. We shall see.
Thank you for that. On one problem I got, I asked, when you do this, shoot me an email.
That is my mistake also. I did not send it to you. I sent it to our executive director, and I will certainly include you and forward you what I sent him.
I'm easy to get along with, but, you know, I try to follow up on things to make sure that I'll be in compliance myself. And if I don't get compliance from the staff, then how can I be in compliance?
Absolutely.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you.
The issues that are going on at this time in this city is very sensitive. And some of these things I wish would get resolved. I'm very concerned with the families that lost someone in the shooting in the school in Antioch. And it's tough to say that they have to relive this every time and turn around, because we have questions about what the investigation or what took place. They deserve to get some relief. And I want to be one of the first ones to say we need to get it done and get it done soon. I think it's been long enough. This city, we're a better city. The people in this city doesn't deserve that, and I think we're better than that. I believe we can get the job done. I believe all the professions that we deal with the metro government, we can do a much better job. And there's no point that we linger this on. They said the investigation is continuing going on, but I got a good feeling that we can get it resolved in the near future. And that's my word about it, and I stand by my word. And I thank all of you for attending. I thank the officer from Metro for being here. Looking forward to working with you in the near future. And if I can get a motion to adjourn.
I had one more item.
You got one more item? Okay, Board Member Brown, go ahead.
I was pleased to see that we had a number of administrative closings. And I understand that we're administratively changing our policy, but the problem was I looked through how long these things had been pending from an initial recommendation to close until it came to the board. And it was 8 months, 10 months, 8 months, 10 months, 9 months, 12 months, 10 months, and 9 months. And that makes the board look bad that we go so long from having a case that should be ready to close until we get it. And I understand there's a new policies out that's going to improve that, but it gives people that are not in favor of the board, it gives them ammunition that we're taking up to a year after a case should be closed to actually close it out. And we've got a requirement that I started back when I first came on the board, that we have a 6-month report on anything pending more than 6 months. And we need to make sure that we lay that out, and that, and there's certainly cases that take longer because of complexity, difficulty in getting body-worn cameras, etc. But we need to be sure that we clean stuff up and get it out as quickly as we can, and that we really look at anything that's over 6 months hard. So that's simply my comment on it. It doesn't take a motion or anything, and I understand it may in fact be worked on, and the fact that we had the number of reports today has cleaned up a lot of things. But we need to keep on that we don't let things sit.
Well, let me clear that up for you, Board Member Brown. That's not our fault. We get it when we get it. The law, you want to blame somebody, blame it on the legislature. They don't want to change the law. They got our hands tied on a lot of situations around here. Got us limited things that we can and can't do. We have to wait till they finish with the product, and then they deliver it to us. We do the best that we can with the staff we got. We got 3 compared to what they have, about 9, 12 people investigating. That makes a big difference. They can work through it much faster than we can. If they want to do something, help us to get through it, get the information to us faster, Give us some more people. I think we asked for 2 more people, right?
Three.
Asked for 3 more people. So if we're gonna get that through, tell them give us 3 more people. We can get it through faster and give us the information much faster. A lot of times we had to wait on something that we request for the recording of the camera. You send us one thing and not complete everything. But the law itself, blame the legislator, the law itself got our hands tied while we just have to wait till they get to filling around with the information and then delivering it to us. And I think my staff do the best they can. And we talked about it once before, 10 months, 6 months. You know, they're not to blame.
Well,
You want to blame somebody, blame the legislator.
well, with all due respect, these times I read out, that was from the time there was a report from our staff that it was ready to be closed. So this is not based on body worn cameras. This was the date, if you look through it, this was the date that it was reported ready to be closed. And we took this long to get it to us for a formal closing.
Thank you, Brother Brown, but listen to me. It's not our fault. And I'm not going to accept that. But we will do the best we can. We always do the best that we can. Attorney Clark.
If it's all right to shift gears really quickly, I remember, and it's an appropriate section, the new business. There's still outstanding this issue of the TBI MOU. My law partner, Wesley Clark, developed that draft and circulated it, and the TBI's revisions, I believe, are unsatisfactory. That's not my call, and it needs to be discussed at our next executive committee meeting, the substance of those revisions. I just want to put that on everyone's radar, and you all can let me know how to best handle it so that we can get that finished.
Will do. Board Member Wynn?
If you can't, you can't, but can you explain what you mean? The TBI's edits are unacceptable.
I'll say very generally that something we pushed for, and I don't have it in front of me, but something we pushed for is priority. And that portion of that MOU was removed to say something like, and I'm paraphrasing again, to say something like, to the extent that it would not affect other requests, the TBI agrees to prioritize any requests and to furnish the requested information in the time frame prescribed by law. It was a lot of words to say no, in my opinion. And the whole point of being a government entity and entering this agreement is that we would be given priority. And to sideskirt that with language that essentially means the same thing, but to couch it as we will if we can, I don't think is something we should sign. So without having it in front of me and without reading the specifics, that was why I said unsatisfactory. And I can certainly bring something in red lines to committee.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. And this is going to be the end of it. I'm going to have the last word. Give us something to work with. Give us the people. And then if you've got a complaint, come to me. But right now, we don't have the staff that we need to be speedy with these different reports and stuff like that. And I'm not satisfied. You got 3 people working against about 9 or 10 or 12 people, and they have access to information before we do. I'm not pleased with that. Board Member Cersei.
Move adjournment.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you all for coming out.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.